Hey everybody, this is Nick, the head of product from ASF Payment Solutions. We're here today to deliver our first feature spotlight for ASF Payment Solutions, where we're going to talk about using point of sale to power your business. The goal is simple. We are going to show you how you can use ASF to gain insights into the consumer habits of your member. We're going to do this by talking about two areas. First, the benefits of tracking what specific individuals are purchasing within your club, and second, how to actually configure the point of sale system so that you can gain the most granular insights in reporting to help make better business decisions. This is all functionality that's already available today with ASF. You'll be able to set this up on your own after watching this video, or of course, my friend Mitch here and his team can always help. So now I'm going to hand it over to Mitch Smith. He is the head of implementations with ASF Payment Solutions, and he's going to talk to you in more detail about some of the insights he's learned and shared from his experience with implementing point of sale with our customers.
Thanks so much, Nick. I'm so glad to be here, and I'm really excited to have the opportunity to share this topic with you. You know, point of sale is not the most glamorous topic that you can talk about when it comes to running your business, but it is such a vital and important part of the business. And a lot of times it's overlooked. It's really in all the years that I've been here with ASF, I notice a lot of clients don't really take it to heart the way I think they could and get as much information out of it as possible. So like Nick said, we've got two spots that we're going to talk about. I think they're really important. One is being able to track the sales of your actual members so that you know what each individual is purchasing and when they're purchasing it, for a couple of reasons. Number one, to ensure that you've got the product that is or having a product that's desired by your members, so that when they're there, they can get it. The last thing you want is to not have the product that you know sells, so you need to make sure that you have it. But then we're also going to talk about why else you are actually assigning those sales to the members and the prospects, so that you can also target them in future email blasts and really reach out to them to get them to purchase even more of it. Part of that has to deal with what is the total value that you're really looking at of that member. It's not just their membership, where they pay you dues every month and a possible ancillary service with add-ons. It's also about what they're purchasing at the cash register. When they finish a class, are they walking in and purchasing a drink afterwards every time? Can you really find that out and then look to see, hey, can I have that ready next time they've checked in? Hey, we've already got the drink ready. You know, there's little things that you can do like that to really enhance what you're doing with your members. And then the second aspect that we're going to talk about is how we're setting that inventory up to make sure that you get the data you need so that you can see the value of each individual member. But not only that, be able to target market all of your members based on their purchasing power. So let's just start off first, though, with setting it up, because setup is where it all begins. So in the ASF system, we have what we call our inventory management. This setup is what makes point of sale work for you. So as you go into the point of sale, into the actual inventory management system, we're going to come up here to our settings and then click on item type. This is the foundation of the point of sale. You can go as deep down as you want or very high level. And what do I mean by that? A lot of times people look at putting their items into what we call categories. Well, at ASF, we use the word item type because item type describes the individual items that are going to be placed in it. And what do I mean by going high or drilling down? As an example, you may want to create an actual item type called food and drink. So any item that is a food or drink would fall into that. And when you run your reports, you're going to have the ability to go in and see every single sale that was ever done on a food and drink. But it's going to have that high level item type called food and drink. Just like you see what I have here. I've got food and drink. But if I wanted to, I could really create an item type called food, or I could go down even further and have an item type called bars or other types of food that we are selling at our location. So do you want to also keep your drinks at a higher level and just say drink, or would you rather keep your waters separate from smoothies? So again, it's up to you and the data that you want to find, but how far do you want to go down in creating any of these item types? And you can create as many as you want, but then when you go to sell them, you don't actually have to put them in categories, which is what point of sale uses to find the items. Your category is strictly used to actually figure out where the item is located. But when it comes to reporting, you can have your food in all one category. You can have in one item type, and you can have all of your drinks, or you can separate them out so that as you're looking at the report, you can see smoothies different from regular water or other drinks that you sell.
So Mitch, are there any downsides to splitting out your point of sale system into having a whole bunch of different categories?
Categories, no. Item types, I also don't really see a real way, a downside of doing it. It's really going to be based on what data do you want to see and how do you want to see it. I think the other thing to take into consideration is, and a lot of people may not when they're originally setting it up thinking about this, but if you're looking at how your accounting is done, and do you have different general ledger accounts that you want to use for these individual item types, then that's how we want to set those up to make sure that when you go to pull the data, it matches your accounting system. Yeah, I think the only downside I could see is if you actually set this up and it doesn't match your accounting system, and then you're having to go back and do other manual processes to get the data the way you need it.
So this should be like a collaboration between the operations team and the finance team to define the correct item types.
Most definitely. Most definitely. You want to get that input.
Who do you?
Sorry, I was just going to say, you want to get that input there so that as you set it up, you know that you're going to be matching what they need to get from you in order to close out end of month or end of year.
Who do you see normally owning the inventory setup within the clubs that you work with?
The majority of the people that I see setting it up is typically, if it's a smaller location that's got an owner that's running everything, I see the owner doing it. In the larger locations or multi-locations, it's either a person from corporate or the general manager that's doing it.
Oh, okay.
And so that's also
Thank
something to think of when you're setting it up. Who really should be setting it up that's going to actually be able to work with the accounting team, CFO, whatever position is handling your finances, to make sure that we're getting this the way that they need it to be. I will tell you that as we are setting this up on the ASF side, my team, the implementation team, we're going to actually work with you to try to get this set up based on the information you provide us for you, so that we can make it a real seamless process, especially if you're converting from a previous point of sale system.
Okay, great, thanks.
Right. So again, the importance of getting your inventory item type set up so that it's going to, number one, work with your accounting software, but number two, so that it's set up for you to get the data you need about your members. So you'll notice there's some items that you can actually set up in here. I'm not going to go through all of that right now. I think it's more important that you understand, as you are looking at these item types here, you can see all the different ways that you can do it. I've got some that have drilled down. I've got others that are a higher level, like supplements. I haven't broke it into whey protein versus this type of protein. Again, it's your system, and our system is flexible enough to handle it. One of the other features that we offer at ASF is the ability to set up commissions at the item type level. So as an example, when I click on new memberships here, you're going to see that we've set the commission at a percentage. You can also do it at a flat rate amount. So all of the individual items that fall under this new memberships, we've now set up the dollar amount that each of these people will be getting. And even though we've set the actual item type to a 5% commission, I can now toggle each individual salesperson and say, okay, my beginning people are going to get this, but people that have been here longer, and have been doing it more are going to get this higher percentage. So you've got some real customization and flexibility within the ASF software for your point of sale commissions. All right, having talked about really the importance of getting all of this set up for your inventory, the next thing I want to talk about is really going into point of sale and being able to assign your sales to your members or to your prospects. Again, the importance of doing that is so that you, the owner of your location, can actually see what your members are purchasing and when they're purchasing. Number one, it's going to tell you what items you need to keep in stock because those are your biggest sellers. But number two, you can really target market or do target marketing towards your members based on their purchase, especially if you're thinking about personal training or group classes that you charge for. You know, you can always set those up to be drafted automatically, but you've got those members that just want to come in, pay for a certain package and be done, and then do it again. So if they've not purchased it in a while, what better way than to look at your reporting to see who actually has purchased this, but they haven't purchased it in this time frame. So why not be able to go out and do a target marketing for that and get them to back in and buy more personal training. It's so simple in ASF. Really, all you do is type in either an account number or a name. And here, I'm going to just put in an account number. You'll see my name comes up. I get to select what drawer I'm using, put in my salesperson name so I can also track which salesperson is making the sale. And now I see all of my categories over here. A lot of our clients make their categories the same as their item types, but you don't have to. Again, we spoke about setting up the inventory item types where I could go down as bars and have just an item type called bars. But bars is a food, so I could put all of my bars just up in here instead of separating it out. Once you make the sale to this person, and I'm just going to quickly do a sale on this particular item here really quick, finalize it. I have now created a record that not only tells me that I sold a chocolate chip granola bar, but I sold this chocolate chip granola bar to Mitch Smith, this member. So having said that, I can come back up, go into my reporting, of which ASF's point of sale reporting is pretty dynamic, where we can get into the actual reports, and I can go in and look at my sales item detail report. Now I'm going to pull a little bit longer time frame here so I get a lot more data just to give you an idea of what we can and can't do with our sales, with our sales reporting. Because we've got the ability to do filtering where I can select items sold at a particular cash drawer. That comes into play when you're saying, oh, we've got a separate smoothie bar and that's its own cash drawer. So you can look and just see what's being sold at the smoothie bar. Or all of our item types show over here. So I don't have to look at all the raw data for every single individual item. I can come over here and specifically say, I just want to see this. In this case today though, I'm gonna go all the way back to January, just hit my submit button. Now comes the next great feature, our group data. When you group this information, you have all of the column headers that you can actually group by. So in this particular case, I'm going to group it by client and then apply. Now, client just shows this one particular location. If I had multiple locations and I wanted to see all of the data in one report, I could. That's just one way of doing it. The next way you could do it is then come by down here and I want to see the individual person that actually purchased the items. So as we're looking at this here, I've got my account and I'm going to hit apply. Now you can see this is my test club, so I've got the same 3 people buying everything, but now I have each individual account and I can see everything they've purchased, go in, and now I can see all of the individual items. I know what they're buying. I see how much they've spent, especially when you go back and look at the grouped data. I can see the total amount that each individual member has spent during that time frame. What is that telling me? It gives me an insight into that member. It also tells me I can go back for an entire year and say, this member spent this much in 1 year. They also paid me this much in dues and add-ons in this 1 year. This is their overall annual value towards me. You want to be able to reach those members that have a low value other than their normal dues. Reach out to them, get them to buy more. And you can do that by assigning the sales to your members and to the prospects, and then going in and using that data to really see where you're at with each one of your members. So I think what I take away from all of this today and what our system does for you is that we really do need to focus during the implementation and setup stage to make sure that your point of sale is set up so that it's going to work in tandem with your accounting department, making your life easier when it comes to running your reports either on a daily, monthly, or annual basis. The other thing that we want to talk about is being able to assign your sales to a member or to a prospect so that you can track what they are purchasing, target market them, and know their value. It's just another way of really diving into the data, which a lot of times gets overlooked because we're just looking at the final number, but you can dive into that data and really see where your members are at and what they mean to you and your business.
Thanks so much for that insight, Mitch.
Yeah.
That's all we're going to talk about today. That was fun. If you have any questions, you can absolutely go to our website, asfpaymentsolutions.com, to book a demo and to get in contact with Mitch and his team. If you have any ideas for anything that was missed or any additional functionality you would like to see, feel free to shoot me an email. You can email me at nick@asfpaymentsolutions.com. Happy to receive any feedback, positive or negative. Either one's good with me. It helps us improve. So thanks again for joining us today. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.